Hi guys, welcome. We are going to get into our hips and back right now. So we are going to do a lie down portion of our stretch class. Hopefully you have your computer somewhere where you can see. If not, you can watch the stretch, pause it, take the stretch, and then come back and see the other ones. Since I know sometimes framing and being on your backs and being able to see computers is a little challenging. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll sit up nice and tall to begin with before we lie down. Okay, if you can, take the bottoms of your feet and bring them together. That way you can sit up tall, so we're in that good butterfly position, okay? Knees are out by our sides. Some people are, if you are comfortable, you can scoot your feet in a little tighter. If you're feeling that pinch in your hips, come out, shake it out, realign, and maybe you come more into a diamond shape, okay? So maybe the feet are a little bit further away from your body, but really being cautious to feel happy in the hip area as you sit up tall. So no slouching. And then I'll turn sideways just so you can see how the back moves on this. We're going to give a little pressure in the knees if we can, and instead of rounding into our back, we are going to let our chest fall forward a little bit, and we're just going to open up into the hips. And so here, you can feel the back lengthen. You can feel the shoulders stay wide. And don't push too hard on the knees. You're not trying to drive your knees into the floor as much as you're just trying to open up into the inner thighs a little bit. Okay? So let's take a few breaths, start to see where we feel the stretch. Start to get good and relaxed, because relaxed muscles stretch a whole lot better than tense muscles. Good. Relax a little more now that you have a little wiggle room. Make sure you're not shrugging. We're not turtles. Neck long. And we'll come back up. And I know how much y'all love to stay in cross-legged position. So let's bring those knees on in. You can let your feet now plant on the ground. And still staying tall in the spine, so still lengthening up through the back and not slouching onto our tailbone, right? We want to stay on our good sitting bones, coming into a gentle twist. So we'll take one hand, we'll bring it over to one side of our thigh, and then if we can, maybe work even deeper into that, twisting from the belly button, from the chest, open up. Making sure the knees don't drop over to one side or another. Feet are firmly planted, both of them. Pressing into the ground, even the sitting bones, the hips press into the ground. Maybe we take it a little deeper. And our back hand here reminds us that we're keeping a tall spine. Good. Release from that side, and you can work your way to the other side. So again, hand behind you, cross it over, rotate around. So and as you do, both feet will be planted on the ground, heels and toes. Knees are pointed straight up, or even a little more open if that feels better, if that gives you more space to rotate. The legs can go a little further away from you. Just make sure that spine stays tall. Top of the head pulling towards the ceiling. And then we're back through center. Bent knees go straight, legs shake out a little bit, toes wiggle out a little bit. And we've concluded the sit-up portion of our day, and let's go ahead and lie down. So nice and easy, make your way onto your back. Okay, make sure that your ponytail doesn't get in the way. And here we go, both legs are gonna go out long for a minute. Letting the body, letting the back sink into the ground. Take just one knee into your belly. And so if we can, we're going to take our hands, we'll interlace right around the shin. If that makes your kneecap feel like it's going to pop right off the top of your thigh, hands can come behind the thigh instead, knee still bends. And we bring that knee up and in towards our chest, and towards our rib cage. Ankle stays light and loose. And our opposite leg stays resting on the ground. know if you've had some knee issues in the past, maybe your knee wants to be bent a little bit, and sometimes it feels good to put either a cushion or a little towel roll under the knee. That way it doesn't feel like it's jamming or flattening into the ground, and it has the support that it needs. From here, we can take the leg we were just holding on to. Let's bring our ankle across our knee. So you look a little bit like this, okay? You don't have to twist. We're gonna stay flat on our backs, ankle over the knee, foot flex. And so that way we open again, just like that butterfly stretch into the thigh. So this might feel really nice for some. You might wanna go a little deeper after a minute, and we'll bring our foot in a little, and a little, and a little. And see if that still feels good on the hips. Starts to feel a stretch through the hip crease. And then getting even deeper into this one, getting into that good glute area. Maybe we can bring our foot all the way up. And again, fingers can go through and hug around the back of the thigh. Or sometimes what I like to do is just kind of hold on to the shin itself and kind of guide it closer into your chest. And that tends to give me a little bit deeper stretch into that area that needs it so much. Good, relax. Let's bring it all back to our mats. Both feet come down. We can windshield wiper the legs out, kind of shake them from side to side. And we'll get ready to move into the opposite side. Okay, so nice and easy. We'll stretch the legs out. We'll keep the shoulders relaxed, the head relaxed, and we'll take the opposite knee in towards the chest. Okay, so again, if this knee is sensitive, your kneecap is kind of inflamed, you can bring it underneath the thigh. Interlaced fingers are just kind of holding, and our knee, our thigh comes up and into our chest. If you feel okay with hands on the shin, you can hug up towards the top of your body and in all at the same time. Okay, so it's not just jamming it in, but find that little lift up. And this will get nice into the low back. Good, making sure to breathe. Making sure you can still wiggle the toes a little bit. So we like to hold our stretches 20-30 seconds if possible. Sometimes our bigger muscles will hold a little bit longer. So if you do want to hold longer, continue to hold as long as it feels comfortable for you. We'll get ready to switch into our figure four, so taking our ankle over our thigh. And so it's just that figure four of flexed foot kind of opening into the hip. You can stay lying down to do this, okay? And feel the knee open. Take a few seconds here, just see how it feels to open it up, to let that stretch happen. And then nice and easy, we'll drag our heel back towards us. Little tiny steps, little tiny steps. Put plants on the ground. Back should still feel neutral, so you shouldn't feel like your back is arching off the ground or overly tucked in, but that happy little middle part. Great, deeper into the outside of the hip now. Let's see if we can take our foot up off the ground. So again, if you want to interlace around the back of the thigh, fingers can interlace. Sometimes it does feel better just to pull on the shin a little bit. Can you see that? There we go. Pull on the shin a little bit towards you and press the knee away. And if you do want to add a little extensor, I've always used either a t-shirt or our strap for that loop through. So if you're not feeling a whole lot of stretch here, and your arms are having a hard time holding the back of the thigh, grab your strap, wrap it around the back of your thigh. And then it's just an extension of the arms, pulling them in. And that way maybe that lets your shoulders rest on the ground a little bit more. Let your head rest on the ground. That way we're not straining with our neck to pull everything together. And then 3, 2, 1, let's let it all come down. Whoosh. Both feet on the ground. Take them wide as your mat as you windshield wiper from side to side. Feel how loose the hips are starting to get as you walk your feet back close together. Pull both knees into your belly at the same time. Remember, you don't have to worry about the feet quite so much. Hands either around the shins or behind the knees, just like before for comfort. Making sure that our tailbone doesn't roll off the ground too much. Feel that good stretch. See if you can relax a little more, let the low back start to soften more into the ground and not feel so much like you're coming in to a back somersault. Sometimes it does feel good. A little massage on the low back. Rock from side to side. And we'll get ready to come into one more twist. So bringing our knees, we want our knees to be about hip level when we bring them over to the side. Notice if you feel like your bottom's kind of over to one side of the mat, and then shift so that we keep that straight line through our spine down to our hips. And then find our twist from here. So if you want to see that from another angle, knees are coming over to the side. Making sure that we don't scooch our hips too far over, but keep your hips in the center. So you want to feel like your spine is one straight line down from your collarbone to your hip. And then that way you can push a little, maybe even take this arm out to the side to open up, shoulder blades start to draw towards the floor. Good, take another breath, bring it right back into center. Good little squeeze, wiggle out, shake out, and into your other side. So scooch the hips over so they line up with the body, and the knees drop over to the side, staying together if they can, but maybe they need a little space, or you can always stick a pillow or a block. Between the legs for extra support if it's starting to pull a lot on the hips. It's amazing how many things we can make into exercise props from home. I've been using water bottles. What else? T-shirts. I filled milk jugs with sand, with water. Sand worked a little bit better than water. Water got a little slushy. I kept being afraid I was going to spill it all. So here we go. Keep stretching. 2 more breaths. 5 more seconds. Something like that. Getting into your twist, and then bring it all the way back. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Stretch your hands to the top of your mat. Let your arms rest on the mat. And just like you're being pulled in 2 directions, reach long through the spine, through the toes, through the fingers. Take a nice little exhale. And now you're stretched and ready for your afternoon nap. So thank you guys so much for our lie down stretch. Hope to see you soon. Bye.